Good morning. Thank you for joining us for Defining Your Health. I'm your host, Dinah Morales. This morning, I want to thank you for being with us. We want to thank all of our viewers that are watching us on our different platforms. Go ahead, press like, and share the stream with your friend and loved one. I'm sure that they can benefit from today's program. Today, our topic is going to be healthy vegan alternatives. In the first part of our program, we're going to be talking about healthy vegan alternatives for dairy. And then on the second half, we're going to be talking about healthy vegan alternatives for meatless diet. So you may want to stay tuned for our second half as well. This morning, our guest is Mrs. Maybeline Campos. Many of you know her. She's a teacher, and she specifically teaches food and nutrition. She's a food and nutrition teacher, and today she's going to be talking to us a little bit about vegan alternatives. Good morning, Ms. Campos. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be on the show.
Okay, and we are happy to have you. I know you've done various studies on food and nutrition. You used to teach at Canaan SDA High School. You used to teach catering. I think that was the name back then when I was going to school.
I did food nutrition, catering. I also taught at Belize Adventist College. A little bit, not much, but I did in Punta Gorda at Providence. I did food, nutrition, and health there too. And I was teaching, my first time teaching food and nutrition was when Canaan was in a high house, I used to call it, on the canal side, right there in front of the bus terminal. Yeah, right there I started to teach food and nutrition at Canaan. And now I am with a government school where I do teach food, nutrition, and health. And I also teach him these different alternatives.
Okay, so that's good. I'm pretty sure you're sharing your knowledge with these kids, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to benefit a lot from it. So let's get into our program for this morning. Now, when persons hear the term vegan, many of them may not quite understand what it is, because you hear terms like vegan, you hear vegetarian, and you hear plant-based. You know, all of them, I believe, are similar to some degree, but can you explain a little bit on how do they differ?
Okay, before I do that, I just wanted to, for people to take that out of their minds, that vegan people are skinny little people that look like all the life has been drawn out of them, and that they eat bush. Because that's what a lot of people say. Oh, he eat lone bush or she eat lone bush. All right? When we talk about vegetarians, we're talking about people who they do not eat flesh in at all, but they do eat like egg, cheese, they drink cow's milk and animal milk and so on. But when we look at the vegan is strictly plant-based. And we have two types of vegans. You have the vegans who would eat only raw. Everything that they do is raw. And then you have the ones that are eat raw and cooked, but it's all from plants. Everything they eat is from plants. I have a neighbor who he eats everything from plants, and he grows most of them too.
Okay, so vegan are, you said two different types of vegan. One that eat it in its natural form, and then one that also eat the vegetables cooked. And then you have the vegetarian who just stay away from the meat, but they eat dairy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know because of the times that we're living in, we've seen that diseases are more prevailing now. A lot of people, first, people used to go to vegetarian and vegan option, more of a religion-based in that aspect. But now, people who are not of the faith is also turning to these different alternatives because of different health conditions that they may be suffering. So let's talk a little bit. What are some of the reasons that you may say that people may want to substitute dairy products?
Okay, first of all, we have to understand that when God created this earth, He gave us what we needed. Everything that God gave us was fruit, grains, and nuts. That was what our original diet. And once we stick to that original diet, we would find ourselves in no problem at all like what we find ourselves in today, because we have changed what God, the way of the food that we are putting into our bodies, that God has given to us from the beginning. And these animal-based products, they're loaded with, the animals are fed with a lot of chemicals, steroids and all sort of things. And then when we consume that, we are also partaking of that. Apart from that, the animals are loaded with diseases, all right? And cancer, for example, the animal fat, the meat is very fatty. If you take away the fat from the meat, when you cook the meat, it's not as delicious because the fat is what gives it its flavor, right? And so when you find that people consume the meat with the fat, you're actually not only getting the chemicals and so on that they feed them with, but you're actually consuming some of these cancer cells. And then you develop, because of the fat, you develop hypertension, all right? Because a lot of people believe that you get hypertension because of salt. That is not true. It's because of fat. Fat is the main thing that is the main reason why you get that. And one of the worst fat to consume is animal fat. While other people too need to stay away from that, because if they stay away from these animal products and they stick to a vegan diet, they will find that a lot of the diseases that are out there they would not get, or if they have it, they would be able to eliminate it totally if they change their diet.
Okay, I know I am a person that suffers lactose intolerance, and a lot of the time when you consume some of these dairy products, yes, it is nice, you know, for that time being, but you have later repercussions. You feel gassy, and you know the list goes on. And so that, for me, the symptoms, some of the effects that it has on my body would keep me away from it, even though it's hard to do sometimes. I think it takes more of your decision, making up your mind, but sometimes, you know, you would revert back to those different selections. But for someone who is not able to take these dairy products because of the negative side effects that you have, they always tell you, when you go to the doctor, even when you go to a regular medical practitioner, they will tell you, watch your diet, stay away from dairy products, see how it helps you, and if you know that when you stay away from it, you feel better, then you know that's causing it. But when they say stay away from it, they don't often provide you with alternatives, because you know, when you're used to a habit, if you're used to putting cheese on your bread or putting butter on your bread, if you're used to the nice chips and dips, I mean, it's hard to step away from some of those practices. So today we're talking about vegan alternatives. What are some of the alternatives that we can put in place that we can still somewhat enjoy some of these things that we like to eat?
Before we go to the alternative, Dinah, I would like to share something with our viewers. God said in the beginning, this is the diet I want you to have, and because he said we must prosper and be in good health. But we abuse our bodies and we put all sort of garbage in it. All right, it's just like the vehicles. If it calls for a certain type of fuel, and we just put anyone, let's say we want it says premium only, and we put just a regular one. After a little while, maybe the first day won't do anything, the second day, maybe this first month, but if you continue to do that, you will find you will be taking your vehicle more regularly to the mechanic. What is the mechanic going to tell you? The mechanic is going to say, Mom, this thing says only premium gas, for example, right? And so if you want it to run the way it should, then you have to put the correct fuel in it. It's the same thing with us, our bodies. God wants our bodies to run in a certain way, and so he gave us the correct diet for us to take. We don't listen to God, but we go to the doctors, and when we go to the doctors, you know what the doctors tell us? The same thing that God told us. And then we say, okay, doctor, yes, doctor, I will do it. And we go back home, and we said, the doctor said, I have to eat this, I have to eat this, I have to eat this, I have to eat that. God already said that. If we'd just be obedient from the beginning, we wouldn't find ourselves, and I say we because that includes me, we wouldn't find ourselves in all of this. And so that's the reason why I believe that people need to be taught. People need to be educated about the alternatives. Let's say, for example, we want to look at a dip. I have here cashew nuts. These are from Crooked Tree, and if you can't get cashew nuts from Crooked Tree, this is organic, by the way. And if you can't get this cashew seed from Crooked Tree, you can always get the ones in the can, but they're salty. So that's not a good option, but it's best that you get this one. 1 cup of this cashew nut. Cut up a little piece of sweet pepper in it, a little piece of onion, just a little piece. If you're a person who likes pungent flavor, then you can put in as much as you want. And you put a little piece of cilantro in it. Add a little bit of salt to your taste. And a little piece of habanero pepper. And you blend that up. If you have tofu, you can add tofu to that. And you have one of the most delicious dips you could ever think about. It's really, and it's healthy. This is the oil in this cheese is natural oil. God made it, so it has to be good. Okay? Another alternative, milk. You don't have to drink cow's milk. You can make milk from almost any nut. Almond milk, that's not my favorite. I don't like almond milk. It's good. It's very beneficial. But I recently did looked at a research where when we buy this box of almond milk, the truth is, and you Google it if you don't believe me, it only has that entire box only has 6 almonds in it. So what else are they putting in there? So we are saying, oh, I'm going to a natural alternative. Only to find out that that alternative, yes, it has natural stuff in it, but it's loaded a lot of other stuff that probably will not be healthy for you. All right, so you could take the same cashew nuts, make your own cashew cheese. I mean cashew milk. All you do is take the cashews, a cup, throw it in the blender with 1.5 cup of water, or if you want it thicker, you can make it 1 cup. If you want it thinner, you can make 2 cups, and you add a little bit of honey to it if you would want to. You don't have to. Add some vanilla in there and a little bit of cinnamon. You flavor it the way you want. Or drop a 3-4 strawberries in it. Drop a 2 bananas in, and you have your own milk. You have your own milk. Even the 100% cocoa powder, you can drop that in and you have chocolate milk. So you can do cashew, you can do coconut. Have you tasted the coconut one, Dinah?
No,
that is really delicious. You should taste that. You also have sesame seed. All right? You can use that too. And they're very, very simple to make. Really simple. This is already parched. Some people prefer the raw one. You can do the raw one, or you can patch the seeds and ground them and make your own milk.
Okay, so you're saying if we want to do different alternative for milk, and later on we will go into some of the products that we have here, but if you want alternative for milk, you can choose different nuts. You have the cashew, you have the almond, you also have soy, coconut, and so the alternatives there is endless. And then you spoke about the cheese, how you can still have that same texture for your dips as what you're used to. Now, what are some of the benefits that come with choosing a vegan alternative? Because today we're talking to our viewer, we're telling them of these alternatives. We don't want to by no means have our viewer feel that this is the only way that you can go if you're not there as yet.
The best way though.
Yeah. If you're not there as yet, these are some of the alternatives that we would like to show you today so that you can make that choice for yourself, depending on what your preference is and whatever situation you're dealing with. But let's talk about some of the health benefits, because a lot of the time people say, oh, cut out the meat, cut out this, cut out that, and you feel better. But let's talk now. What are some based on your experience? Because I know you have tried some of this stuff.
Loaded in calcium.
Okay, so.
Okay. The oil in there is good cholesterol. So if you're a person who is fighting that cholesterol problem, hypertension, the oil and so on, perfect for you. Perfect. Even oatmeal, you can make your own milk from oatmeal. Yes, you can, and it's really, really delicious. If you read the back of your labels, it will tell this is pure oatmeal. It will tell you exactly what are some of the benefits. Fiber. Fiber that you will get, and sometimes as simple as it might look, that's something that our body is lacking. We don't have enough fiber, then we are not able to digest our food the proper way, and then we have bowel problems, and we have problem with our intestines and different things like that. So it will eliminate a lot of the problems symptoms that we face there. And anything that is plant-based, anything that the plant-based goes in smooth and comes out smooth.
Okay, so in terms of going vegan, Now, I remember a couple of years ago, there was this man who I was talking to, and he was a little bit hefty, and he was conscious of his size and his health, and he wanted to lose some weight. And so he went to the doctor and told him, you know, you need to change your diet, you need to change all of these different things. And he started cutting out. And soon after, he started having a lot of headaches, he's not feeling well. He said, but if they said I am to change my diet, I am supposed to feel better, but I'm feeling worse. And after some time, he went back to the doctor and they told him, you know, he have to gradually like wean himself off these stuff. I think it's very important that our viewers who are watching today know that it's not an overnight process, because a lot of the people, they feel like, oh, when they say change your diet, you cut out, but you need to be replacing.
Exactly, and not just only replacing. When we say change the diet, you have to load up, double up. You have to do double ups. You know, like how BTL have double ups? You have to do double ups, and so that you will be able to boost your immune system. Because remember, you are already dependent on the meat and the cheese and the egg and everything else. So you have to double up on that and replace, as you said, replace certain things that are there. And it's vegans don't mean that you have to drink milk, you have to eat sausage, or you have to eat butter. You can actually stick to fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, and you could be very, very healthy.
But it takes a process.
But it takes a process.
That's what we want to emphasize on.
It has to be something that if you are a person who used to eat meat, let's say every day, start by eating 6 times for the week. Then another 2-3 weeks, 5 times for the week. And just like that. And then you start eating less. And then you start eating different kinds. So if you used to eat a lot of fried chicken, start cutting out the fried chicken and start baking the chicken. Then if you used to eat, after a while you used to eat 3-4 pieces of meat, you start eating 2 pieces, 1, until finally you will find yourself leaving it total. And by that time your body has already adjusted, and all the other nutrients that you have been doubling up with, other foods, that will just fall into place, and then you are going to find yourself being healthier. You'll feel better about yourself. You'll feel better physically. You'll health-wise, you will find that you're blooming. All right. To be honest, a lot of people believe that you have to eat the meat because where are you going to get your protein? That's not true. You know that in order for you to get the amount of daily protein that your body needs, viewers, you have to eat half chicken. Yes. So when you eat a piece of chicken, 1 chicken leg and 1 chicken wing, and you say, oh, well, I get my protein for the day, that's not the amount that your daily intake, because you have to eat half in order to get your daily intake.
So for a vegan, where do they get their protein from?
Oh, all the different types of nuts and the beans, legumes, soybean, red kidney bean, red beans, string beans, lentils, garbanzo, all of those nice beans. Those are their source of protein. And also certain vegetables.
And I like what you said, you have to double up. And I think that is key there for our viewers to understand that you need to double up, because a lot of the time, I know I have my brother who's a vegetarian, and his wife is also a vegetarian. And like you said, that you mentioned at the earlier part of this program, that a lot of the time when you hear a person being a vegetarian, you expect someone to be slim built. Now, naturally, me and my brother, we're just slim built, but it has nothing to do with diet. But I remember seeing my sister-in-law for the first time, and she's, you know, had a really good weight and everything. And I told her, I said, well, I always thought that vegetarian were small people. And she said, you know, I had some time to sit down with her, and she said, well, you know, a lot of the time when people are vegetarian, you will notice that they suffer from some deficiency because they do not understand. If you're going to cut out the meat per se, no? You have to double up. You have to be substituting different vegetable or fruits that is going to give you, that is going to put back. And you will notice that the people who are vegetarian, and you will see that they get smaller, is because they're not doing the diet as they're supposed to be. They're cutting and not putting back. Because
it's very important that a balanced diet is served at every meal. A balance that you have to balance it. You can't just decide this morning, I'll eat only raw okras. okra is not the only thing that your body needs. Your body needs a lot of other stuff that you need to be putting in a lot of other good stuff. You don't put only gasoline in your vehicle. If you put only gasoline, you don't add water, and you don't add transmission oil, and you don't add the lube, you don't clean the filter, you're going to end up in some serious trouble.
If I can put a pin there, I wanted our viewer to take note of what you just said, and I think that's very important because, you know, on this show, on the health show, we talk a lot about nutrition and having a balanced diet, and, you know, in relation with exercise and all the other thing. But people feel that if you're switching to a vegan diet or you're switching to a plant-based diet, oh, you don't need to worry about balancing.
Oh, yes, you do.
It's still important because I remember Miss Leandra, who's a nutritionist from Loma, she said, it doesn't matter what you put in your body, whether it be fruits or veggies. If you put too much, it won't be beneficial for you, and if you put too little, likewise, you have to balance off things. So that's what I want our viewers for today to remember.
And something very important, our viewers need to make sure that they have, your plate must be colorful. If your plate isn't colorful, then you're in trouble, because you must have different types of vegetables in your plate, fruits in your plate, and a balanced diet is simple. It's very simple to plan a diet. Very, very simple. You have your carbohydrate, and your carbohydrate can come in any form. It can come in rice, brown rice, or your white rice. I would recommend the brown rice, any sort of greens, all right? But I just named some. It can be bread. It can be whole bread, of course, or rye bread, or some sort of green bread. It can be spaghetti, it can be cassava, it can be potato. So you must have your starch, but your starch must be the least on your plate. All right, and that goes into depending on your type of job too. So like, for example, Dinah, you sit most of the time in your office. You don't need to eat a big pile of brown rice or a huge amount of cream potatoes, because that's for somebody who's doing construction work. Right? But so you have to have your carbohydrate, then you must have your protein. And from your protein, you could, a big, nice bowl of maybe 2 or 3 spoons of beans, any sort of beans, legumes, that's your protein right there. And then you can have you must have your cooked vegetables, and then you must have your raw vegetables. And your cooked vegetables sometimes doesn't have to be separate. Because let's say, for example, you're doing a lentil stew. In there, you have your cooked vegetables, you have a carrot, you have a potato, you have a sweet pepper, you have an onion. So you already have that in there. And then you just have you must always have a nice bowl of vegetables. Fresh, green, leafy vegetables. Very important for vegans.
Okay, so if you're enjoying this program, we invite you to stay tuned. We're going to go to a break now. We encourage you to stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you taking heart medicines? Medications can give us a false sense of security. Even if a person takes heart medicines, eating a lot of saturated or trans fats, fast and junk foods, red and processed meats, sweets, and processed foods will still increase inflammation and make cardiovascular disease worse. That's a fact. But there's hope. A study of more than 31,000 adults found that you can substantially reduce cardiovascular recurrence beyond drug therapy alone by eating a diet rich in vegetables, fruits, and fish, and low in meats. A heart-healthy diet reduced their risk of dying from cardiovascular disease by 35%, a new heart attack by 14%, heart failure by 28%, and stroke by 19%. So eat your veggies. A healthy heart starts with a healthy meal.
Abigail.
Yes, Gran?
Abigail, I can't breathe well.
Granny, we need to go to the hospital to get you checked out.
No! I'm fine.
Yes, Gran, we need to go now to get you treated. Now, before it's too late.
No.
Grandma, we need to go for all of us.
No.
Stop. If you are having flu-like symptoms, please call us immediately for medical guidance. If you have chronic conditions such as diabetes and you're experiencing symptoms such as shortness of breath or chest pain, please also seek medical attention immediately. We lost a lot of people this year. We don't want to lose you too. Please seek help if necessary. Call us at 0800-664-2273. Continue to wear your mask at all times. Keep physical distance when in public and stay at home unless absolutely necessary. This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
More than 32% of adults over the age of 20 suffer from high blood pressure, according to the Center for Disease Control. High blood pressure is a major risk factor for cardiovascular disease and mortality, as well as among the top causes for other chronic health conditions. Anger and frustration has been shown to raise the level of stress hormones in the body, triggering negative health effects such as high blood pressure. That's a fact, but there's hope. Those with hypertension have seen dramatic benefits from learning to forgive. In one study, those who scored high on anger test no longer required blood pressure medication when participating in a forgiveness program. As someone said, you simply cannot swallow a poison pill and hope the other person dies. So forgive now and see your blood pressure going down.
An hour between eating and sleeping may lower stroke risk. A 1,000-patient study presented at this year's European Society of Cardiology Congress found that waiting 60 to 70 minutes before going to bed after eating reduced the risk of stroke by 66%. And for every 20 minutes more that you wait, stroke risk drops another 10%. That's a fact. But there's hope. Here's a health tip that takes little effort. Wait at least an hour to go to sleep after eating. Not only will you cut your risk of stroke, but previous research has shown that you'll also decrease your risk of acid reflux disease and sleep apnea. So have an earlier dinner and a better night's sleep.
Hi, my name is Amini Anderson and I'm the General Manager for our Yadpa bookstore here in Belize City. At our bookstore, we cater at offering books that can help you live a healthier lifestyle. We offer books that can help your marriage and your family life to be even more sweeter. We haven't forgotten the kids. We have books for them. And we also have books that will help you grow in your spiritual life. We're located inside the headquarters of the Belize Union of Seventh-day Adventists that is located on 3A Street, Kings Park. Our phone numbers are 223-3048, or you can get us on our cell number at 660-2378. Our working hours are from 8 to 12:15 from Monday to Thursday, 1 to 4:15, and on Friday we're open from 8 to 12. You can also find us on Facebook. Our name for our page is Yadpa Belize. ATN has partnered with us, and for every purchase made using the code ATN21, a proceed will be going to them to help them further in their ministry as well. So feel free, come visit us. I'm sure you're going to find something that will be a blessing to you all. Thank you.
Welcome back to Defining Your Health. This morning we have a very special guest, Miss Maybeline Campos, a food and nutrition teacher. And she's here telling us about healthy alternatives if you have, if you're lactose intolerant, if you have gluten allergy, if you just want to be healthy and change your diet because of a health condition, then today you need to stay tuned to this program because she's sharing her expertise of different alternatives and different products that you can try to substitute for these things that you may not be able to use anymore. So let's talk a little bit about Beta Livin. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Beta Livin. That's a small venture that she has now done during this pandemic time along with her sister. So tell me a little bit more about Beta Livin. What is it about?
Well, actually, Beta Livin, the name came from a couple of years ago. I think it was 2000, not a couple, that's a lot of years. I had a health food store where I was bringing in a lot of health stuff, health products. And after when Hurricane Mitch came, visited us and lost everything, and I got a little discouraged, but it had always stayed in the back of my mind. And the name of that health food store was Beta Livin. And so I've always had that in the back of my mind. I need to start again. I need to start again. But this time, God impressed me. Why instead of just selling products, start making your own stuff. And so before the show, I was sharing with you that a lot of people have this thing that they were born with certain talents. And for example, my little sister who is working with me, Evelyn, she is a seamstress. She's an interior decorator. She builds her own house from straw. She does a whole lot of things. That's her talent. My talent is one of the many talents is cooking. Apart from when I'm not talking, I'm cooking, or I'm talking and cooking. And my sister, my little sister, so I believe that that was my talent because the students watch me at school. The teachers watch me at school and they're like, Miss, this is so amazing. How did you do that? How did you know how to do that? And I would always give God the glory because this is to God's honor and glory because He was the one who blessed me with this talent. Sometimes we're doing a pastry and there's a little tear somewhere or something breaks on the pastry dough or something like that. We're making a patties and it breaks and they're like, Miss, look at this. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Let's do surgery. And we take a little spatula and we just dip in a little bit of water and we just paste it and put it back. And they look like, Miss, what did you do? I said, the doctors do surgery. We do that in cooking too. So that's how I have a passion for food. I have a passion for healthy food, all right? Because myself, I struggle with a lot of health issues. Some of them I have been struggling with because of certain things that was beyond my control. One time I had problem with my throat and I was almost placed on leave, not leave, what they call it, where they put me off medically unfit because I had problem with my throat. And one of the reasons because I was given a type of medication that blew me up like this. And so I was much bigger than this, and so I started working on that. I have been praying and I've been talking to God, how could I get rid of this weight? How could I get healthy? And I started to eliminate, just like what we said in the first section, eliminate a lot of foods. And so I do a lot of experiment with foods. Because when I'm in my kitchen, that's my lab. That's my food labs. And my students at school would know that this is not a cooking room. This is a foods lab where we do experiment with food. Just last week, I had them make a vegan cheesecake from pineapple because they were looking at lactating and pregnant women, and they had to prepare a dessert for them. So we had one, and what we made it from pineapple and cashew. And we made the crust from sesame seed. And the kids were like, what? And a little bit of honey, and the kids were like, what? And I said, yes, when we were finished, and they researched. They had to research, and they had to show me what benefit they would get from cashew, benefit they would get from honey, and the benefit from the sesame and the pineapple. They were amazed to learn. I'll just tell you one single thing that pineapple does, and I'll bring that to a point right now. For a pregnant woman, pineapple actually aids in helping them to help the birth canal to open, so that they could have a good delivery. So if you're pregnant, you're about to have baby, then eat a lot of pineapples. It's going to help you, aid you. It's going to aid in your birth. All right, that was just a one, and they were like, Miss, I can't believe I said yes. And so we do experiments with food, and that's what I did here. What I have here is experiments with food.
So Beta Livin is one of the things that came out from all those different experiments.
Yes. Exactly. All those experiments, we came up with all these different things from Beta Livin. My sister, I told my sister, actually, she was the one who started to do the cheese, the cashew cheese, a couple years ago, and she got sick. She was remember, she was very, very sick. We thought that she was going to die, and then she started the same process of eliminating certain things. And so because of that, we decided we're not going to keep silent. We are not going to keep this to ourselves. We're going to share with other people. God has blessed us with talents. God has blessed us with knowledge. And so we need to share it with other people. So that's what we have here today, Beta Livin Health Foods.
Okay, so let's talk products now. Tell me, what are some of the products that Beta Livin have? I see we have here,
that's actually butter.
Butter. What is this made of?
It's made from coconut oil and sunflower oil and a little bit of soy lecithin.
Okay.
That's what we have there.
And can this alternative to the regular margarine or butter that we know of also be used in the different dishes? In
any dish that calls for butter or margarine, you can use that because it gets hard. Once you put it, it has to be refrigerated. Okay. But when you take it out, and you use it right away, it doesn't melt. But we had it out for a little while, so it's kind of. But it gets real hard. Actually, one of the stuff, and later on I'll get into that we have there, I used the butter in it, and I had somebody taste it, and they said it was really delicious.
Okay, and then this one here. I noticed
that one is the cheese, and it's made from cashew nuts.
Okay.
Cashew nuts, and with a little bit of sweet pepper. We have some nutritional yeast, which is extremely important. Nutritional yeast is very, very important.
And what I like too, Ms. Campos, here on your packaging, I noticed that you have the ingredients.
Yes, because people need to be seeing what they're eating. All of this stuff here has no preservatives in them, none at all. And all of them are made from natural ingredients, 100%
so
plant-based.
Is this the only type of cheese that you make?
Oh no, we make that cheese, which is actually the one that you slice. You can put it in your Johnny cakes. It's really good with cheesy fries. Yes, I did some, and I had some people eat it, and they were like, this is real cheese. No, it's not. It's vegan cheese.
Okay, so you have it in the hard form. You
yes,
also have
it. We also have the nachos one, and then we have the one that we call the stretchy one that you put on cheese. On pizza or on lasagna. Yes.
Okay, and here we have this. I believe is sausage.
Yes, those are sausage, vegan sausages.
And the sausage is made out of?
The main ingredients in the sausage will be oats. All right, the oats, and then we add a little bit of sage to it, the sage, and then we have some of the ingredients we have right here. We have the oats, we have the sage, we have Italian seasoning, a little bit of paprika, which is actually just ground pepper, and a little bit of honey, just a little bit of honey and a little bit of salt. What we do, if you look at that one right there, yes, that one there, they're a little bit different, the shape of them a little bit, because that's a special order for someone who is hypertensive, and so they have that has no salt at all. It's only seasoning it has. And then I take the habanero pepper that I grow in my garden, because I grow a lot of the stuff. We grow a lot of the stuff that we use in our garden, and I just to add a little bit of taste there, zest there. We just put a little bit of this in there to just make it a little spicy. It's not spicy, it's just flavor. It's just flavor. All right? And so what we do is we make it, we customize it to you. You tell us what you want, and we make that for you. We also do mayonnaise. I forgot the mayonnaise. We have vegan mayonnaise. And we also do vegan steak. You should try the steak. We sold out last week. Okay. And we are having a little difficulty getting one of the main ingredients. We actually, that steak is actually made from mushroom and lentils. And we add a little bit of gluten flour to keep it together. But it's really, really delicious.
Okay, so we have butter, we have cheese, we have sausage, we have mayo, we have steak, and then here we have
milk.
Now, what kind of milk is this?
Okay, that milk is from the sesame seed. We call it, I believe, wangla. Okay. All right, and we're growing our own actually. We haven't started using ours, but we're growing our own one. And as soon as they start bearing, we'll use our own wangla. And that is really good, because that wangla, all it has in is wangla and a little bit of honey for those who want honey. Who don't want honey, put a little bit of sugar, and some of them we don't put anything in at all. If you ask us that you make it for you without, we did chocolate flavor so far. We have done strawberries, all right, so far, and it's really, really delicious. We also had smoothie. We made a smoothie, and I had my students tasting the smoothie, and it was really, really delicious. We did it from strawberries smoothie.
Okay, Ms. Campos, and let's talk a little bit before we go into this plate here, telling us what this plate comprises of. I hear you say a lot, nuts, the cashew nuts, the sesame seeds, sorry, and the different nuts that you use for your products. But what if I want to try these vegan alternatives, but I am allergic to nuts?
Well, you don't have to use the nuts. You don't have to use the nuts.
What else can we use?
You can use, rather than in this, because in this I put a little bit of walnuts too, the sausage. You can leave out the nuts. You don't have to add nuts. You can add lentils. You can add garbanzo. You can add, because actually the mayo is made from garbanzo beans, chickpea.
Okay.
So you could use other things rather than the nuts, if you're allergic to nuts, because some people are allergic to nuts.
Yes, so that's what I wanted our viewers, to know, that it doesn't have to be the nuts. There's several different other substitutes that you can put for that. So here we have a very colorful plate. Tell us what we have here.
Well, we have here cream sweet potatoes. That's cream sweet. I just made it a little. I like to have my students, in my look, their work, their piece of art. Because it's a piece of art, it has to be creative. It has to be attractive. It must look good. It smell good. It must smell good, and it must taste good. All right. And so this that you see there, oh, it looks so good. It's so appealing.
And the cream potato, you
cream
said
potatoes actually has in the vegan butter, and it's really delicious. You guys can try it when we're finished. It's really, really delicious. So you have to. I have a balanced meal here. And this was what I was showing you. Can we get this again, please? So I can actually show them the balanced meal. We have our carbohydrate, which would be our sweet potato, which is actually better than the Irish potato. We have our sweet potatoes, which is our carbohydrate. And then we have our protein, which is the same sausage, We have it fried up with callaloo. All right, and then we have our cooked vegetable, which would be our broccoli, also callaloo, and then we have our raw vegetables, which would be tomatoes and cucumbers. I forgot the lettuce from my garden this morning. All right, and then we have our corn there. All right, a complete balanced meal, which is very, very important. A complete balanced meal, right there, as simple as it looks, and it looks real appealing and real appetizing.
Okay, and I notice one of the things too, a lot of time when, you know, as a organization, we like to promote health. And a lot of the times when we go to different places and promote these different health things, people may want to try these stuff, but they don't know how to prepare the stuff. And a lot of the time, they would come to you and say, well, miss, that look nice, but I'm pretty sure if I try it, it's not going to taste the same way. I used to always tell my grandma, I said, Grandma, why does unhealthy stuff have to be so good and the healthy stuff not appealing? That was when growing up. But I know it has to do a lot with the way how you prepare these meals. So go ahead and share with our viewers at home that probably say, that plate looked nice, but you know, I can't imagine that it tastes as good as it's looking. Tell them some secrets.
Better than it looks there.
Tell them some secrets of how they can make their vegan food healthy and delicious.
First of all, love. You have to put some love in it. You have to put your love. I am sure that this plate here, nobody would be able to resist it because it looks good. So it's just the way how you prepare. You have to take your time. Cooking is not something you rush. You run to the kitchen and you just put on the pot, throw the rice in there and put something in there. That's not cooking. Cooking, you have to, when you're cooking, you have to take into consideration your family, the people who you will be feeding. All right, you have to take into consideration the fact that what are they going to gain from what I am doing there. Then you have to appeal to their appetite. All right, and then put in the love in there. A lot of people believe that your food has to be spicy. That's one secret that I want to share. Your food doesn't have to be spicy to be tasty. It must have flavor. And if you put a lot of spice in there and a lot of oil in there, it will not be flavorful. Because these sausages, they have a little bit of coconut oil. And they are baked. They are not fried. All the vegetarian meats that we do, we bake them. We don't fry them. Because that, you know, frying is not good. And and we use mostly coconut oil. And so you have to put, in order to eat healthy, you have to spend a little bit more and try and get the healthy food to get what you need. People like to go and they buy all these wonderful, what you call it, seasonings that they might add spice to your food, but the simpler your food is, the less ingredients you put in there, the better. I normally like to use my nutritional yeast. I use sage. I also use paprika to give it color, and I use Italian seasoning. Sometimes I use the Cajun or the tropical blend, and the Cajun and tropical blend are all natural seasoning too. But some people they can't take too much spice. So I eliminate those, and I use just the natural ones. I take some culantro from my garden. I take some cilantro from my garden. I take some parsley, fresh parsley. I'll send you guys some pictures. And actually, we put those in your food. The more natural ingredient you include in there, the better it is. Another tip, don't use a lot of oil and use only coconut or olive oil. Don't use a lot of oil. You can just a little tip of oil, and you will be able to, you lower your stove, for example, your callaloo. When you turn your callaloo, when you put in your callaloo in the pot, you turn the pot down very, very low, and they cover it and let it just steam for a few minutes. As soon as it has a bright green color, you take it off.
Don't overcook it.
Don't overcook it. Once it starts getting brown and ugly, it's not good. It has lost all of its nutrients. All right? So put a lot of love into your food. Take time to prepare. Don't wait until 10 or 15 minutes before lunchtime, before it's time to cook, to go and start putting things together. No, take your time and prepare and put some love, and they will feel the love in the food. And don't just serve it in their plate. Arrange it nicely in their plate so it's appealing, so they want to eat it. I have pathfinders who, whenever they go on camp with us, they're not from our church, they're not from our club, they're just visitors, and they're always amazed at how we prepare the meals there. And when they get in the plate, like, Miss, you real this are no cheese, this are no meat, Miss. Miss, you sure this are no egg? No, it's tofu. You sure, Miss? Because it looks like frying and tomatoes, and it's tofu.
Right.
So you have to put love and attention into it, and it takes a little time to cook, but at the end, it's worth it.
Yes, and what I want to tell our viewers out there today, all of this looks nice, Ms. Campos, and we're so happy that you've been able to share some of your products with us today. But a lot of the time, some people, I've heard it said multiple times, eating healthy is believed is very, very expensive, and they're not sure, because you could go to the store, you get a ramen, it's very cheap. You get a packed bread, it's very cheap. It may not be the most nutritional product for you to consume, but some people said, but that's what I can afford. So to that viewer out there that seeing all these nice stuff and all these things that you're saying today, how can they also practice, some of these elements of healthy vegan options without having to spend that extra money that they may not have? Okay,
take out the packed bread, take out the ramen. Go to the market with that $3, because $2 for the packed bread and $1 for the ramen. You go to the store with that $3, and you can buy 1 tomato, 1 cucumber, and you can buy $1 kalalu. And you can prepare something for you. And take your oats. Go into your house. Take your oats. Put a little bit of it in a bowl. And if you don't have nutritional yeast, that's fine. Add whatever seasoning you have in it. Put a little bit of oil in there, and you put a little bit of water if you have cashew nuts or any type of nuts or any type of beans that you have left over. You can make a nice casserole. Put them all together, chop up your onion, whatever you have in there, whatever you have, and push it in the oven and take out a nice vegan casserole. All right? So, or you can make some nice patties. You can make some nice patties, and you can bake them. All right? Some people like to fry them, but that's not the healthy way to go. You can bake them.
Okay, and for persons that are want to try some of the stuff that you have there, how can they get Beta Livin products?
Okay, they can get Beta Livin products by sending us a message on WhatsApp, 613-6244. 613-6244. All right, or they can go to Daidi's Creation in Ladyville on Flamboyant Street. All right there, our products are there too. And then in Sun Hill, they can pick up there too at In and Out Bakery. We also have our products there. And you can call us. You can visit our webpage, not webpage, our Facebook page. Okay, you can drop us a message there. Several people have already gotten theirs and enjoyed them because they through WhatsApp and through the Facebook page, they have left us messages, and we were able to get to them, and then we find how to get it to you, or you get to us, and we get it out to you. But one thing I want to let you guys know, we try to make our product as fresh, so we don't have a whole lot of thing with a freezer or a fridge stocked up. All right, so you can you call us, you WhatsApp us, and we take your order, and in the next 2 to 3 days we take all the orders, then we make, and then we deliver or we distribute. All right, so that you can get it as fresh as possible.
Okay, so there you have it, guys. Beta Livin products, healthy food, 100% vegan, right? And today, Ms. Campos, we want to thank you for the time that you've took in sharing this information. It's a wealth of knowledge that I'm sure viewers at home will put into practice and can benefit from. Now you know how to prepare your own vegan alternatives, and we hope that this program today have equipped you with knowledge that will assist you in living a healthy life.
I am hoping that you guys will invite me back another time, and we'll be able to share. I'll be able to actually make a few alternatives so that they could see how they could make it at home. Okay, just in case that they they can't afford it. Actually, those are very affordable, because that's one thing I wanted to share, is that it's a ministry. It's not just about making stuff to sell to make money. This is about sharing with other people. I've reached out to several people who are suffering from cancer right now, and I've offered my products to them. I actually had them taste it first, took a nice meal for them first, and then they said, okay, I can work with this, and they ordered. So it's also a ministry, and these are not people these are people who have never heard about vegan and vegetarian, but they're living with cancer and they have to change their diet. The doctors told them, but they didn't tell them how to do that. And I just want to leave with my viewers, listen to me, people. I remember one time we had a Pathfinders Camporee, and we had a missionary there who told us, he said, you want a vacation? Start eating healthy. And we didn't understand. You want a vacation? Start eating healthy. He said, because whenever you take your monies, you don't eat right, you say you can't afford it, and you go to the doctors, you will have to pay for them to treat you for the illnesses that we brought on ourselves. But he said, and then at the end of the year, we'll have us being left with no money at all to go on a vacation. If we save that money, we eat now properly, we won't get sick, and then we won't have to spend that money, and we can save that money and we can go on vacation. And I found that out to be true. I want to try. I want to encourage you to try that.
Yes, indeed. So we want to thank you, Ms. Campos, for your the experience that we had today. I must say that some of the things I have, probably tried already before, but some of them I will take it into consideration and try it for myself at home. So to our viewers who have tuned in today, we want to thank you for being with us. We want to encourage you to check out our Yadpa bookstore. At our Yadpa bookstore, there's so many books that speaks about health and how to prepare healthy foods. So go ahead and check out our bookstore, and don't be afraid to use our ATN promo code. That's ATN21 as you make your purchases. So once again, thank you, and do have a blessed day.